Stepping out with a dramatic new look, Princess Charlene of Monaco may finally be finding her feet as an independent-minded royal. Many ponder whether this surprise due is a declaration of confidence or something more concerning. An ever-growing mystery surrounds the generally glum-looking Princess Charlene of Monaco, with new photographs heightening concerns. They are said to be plagued by a curse that declares, "Never will a Grimaldi find true happiness in marriage." And over the decades, Monaco's royal family have endured a series of scandals and tragedies that defy belief. There's a particularly cheesy throw pillow you can buy that reads, "Whoever says money can't buy happiness doesn't know where to shop." It's a line so vacuous it would make Noel Coward weep, and which a new photo of a princess once alleged to have been all but held hostage can thoroughly trounce. Whispers surrounding the state of the royal marriage have resurfaced intermittently over the years. Paternity suits, wedding day tears, and awkward public appearances have led to widespread speculation. Most notably, Princess Charlene, a former Olympic swimmer, spent the majority of 2021 in South Africa, while Prince Albert remained at home. Catapulted to fame in the 50s when Prince Rainier III married Oscar-winning actress Grace Kelly, the House of Grimaldi were stunned when a Hollywood star tragically died in a car accident in 1982. Nearly 4 decades later, it is now the marriage of her son, Prince Albert II, to former South African swimmer Charlene Whitstock that is grabbing headlines. Known for his hedonistic years as a playboy prince in the 90s, Albert has been forced to admit he fathered 2 illegitimate children, and rumors of discontent have swirled around the ruling leader's marriage. The Monaco Royal Palace has not commented on the claims. However, last year, Prince Albert publicly dismissed separate rumors of an estrangement, branding the tabloid reports malicious and untrue. Here is how their romance has unfolded. The son of Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly met Charlene Whitstock in the early 2000s, yet the couple waited before exchanging vows in the twin civil and religious ceremonies. Although undoubtedly grand, the Earl and Countess of Wessex, now Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, were among the dozens of royals in attendance. It was a day marred by rumors and speculation as to the state of the bride and groom's relationship. Reports swirled in the days leading up to the wedding that Charlene had gotten cold feet, possibly due to a paternity suit, but the big day went ahead as planned. The 3-day proceedings began on 30th of June with a concert by the Eagles. This was followed by a civil ceremony on 1st of July in the throne room of the Prince's Palace, for which Charlene wore a custom-made aquamarine Chanel suit. Then finally, there was a religious ceremony on 2nd of July, when Charlene wore an off-the-shoulder Armani Prive gown with 40,000 Swarovski crystals, and which was attended by supermodels, sports personalities, and world leaders. As photos from the wedding began to circulate around the world, there was much comment on how visibly upset Charlene appeared. The newly titled princess was photographed with tears in her eyes. But she brushed these rumors off, insisting all brides are emotional on their wedding day. The concerns as to the state of Princess Charlene's marriage were not without their grounding. Prince Albert had previously admitted to fathering 2 children out of wedlock, although these relationships predated his one with Charlene. However, rumors have continued to swirl in the almost 13 years since the wedding. In early 2023, Princess Charlene and Prince Albert of Monaco have found their relationship back in the spotlight once again, after a French magazine claimed the couple have started to separate. The royal couple issued a statement dismissing the malicious rumors. "I would like to formally deny the malicious rumors peddled by the French magazine Royauté. Please disregard this article, which is totally unfounded," a spokesperson said. As England took on Japan in the Rugby World Cup in Nice on Sunday evening, and the 65-year-old Monegasque royal was watching from the stands, it became clear that his 45-year-old wife had made a solo trip. Last week, the prince's official Instagram account revealed he'd jetted to New York for the UN General Assembly, where he also met with Prince William at the Earthshot Awards. He since met with President Joe and First Lady Jill Biden. Meanwhile, there was an official update on Charlene too, who was making her first trip back to her homeland since her 2021 visit, where she fell ill and was without her family for the majority of her 10-month stay. I find it impossible to look at any photos of Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene of Monaco, the wife of the ruler of the tiny but obscenely wealthy principality, and not feel tremendously sad. Has a woman with so much money, so many jewels, and such unfettered access to Parisian couturiers ever looked so bloody miserable? Monaco's National Day celebrations was held this week, and Charlene and her husband of 13 years, Prince Albert, were out and on duty, giving off the same level of natural attraction and zinging chemistry that was probably felt around the table at the Oslo Peace Accords. But this year, the photos, I think, are more of a Debbie Downer than ever because they show us something else. It's not just the former Olympic swimmer who seems to have signed over her life and outward ability to express happiness, but now there is another generation, increasingly involved too. Shots and a video that has come out of the couple's children, Prince Jack, Marquis of Bull, and Princess Gabriella, Countess of Carlade, at official proceedings makes for what I find uncomfortable viewing. To it, that tiny nervous prince in an oddly large hat saluting his father, the young princess left to stand there like a Dior-clad ornament. Are they bored? Hungry? Nervous? Or so inured to the madness of their life that this seems normal? By all rights, if Monaco had done away with male primogeniture, like it did with income tax, then it would be Gabriella who should be next in line to the throne to rule over the 2-square-kilometer, deeply traditional and Catholic enclave. It's clear from all the official updates that a joint trip to the country where Charlene spent her formative years wasn't likely to have ever been on the cards. The couple are seemingly too busy with their own individual pursuits. The separate visits come as both have been making almost daily shows of unity in Monaco, albeit brief ones supported by sound bites insisting that they are still very much together. The whispering started shortly after Prince Albert II and his family arrived at the yacht Club de Monaco the week before Christmas to christen a new police launch. The ruler of the tiny European principality, his wife Princess Charlene, and their 6-year-old twins Prince Jack and Princess Gabriella were casually dressed, the children in jeans and their mom sporting a beret. However, on closer inspection, it appeared that under her hat, Charlene's head had been shaved. People stared. Why would the glamorous princess have shaved her beautiful blonde bob? It was hardly an expected look for a royal. The beret made it difficult to see what state her hair was in, but onlookers at the yacht club didn't have to wait long to have their suspicions confirmed. Later that day, the family attended a festive gift-giving event for local children, and the beret was gone, allowing everyone to see that a large wedge of hair had been shaved off on one side of Charlene's head. A razor had also been taken to the back of her neck, and her remaining hair had been dyed a much darker blonde than usual. One local who was at both the christening and the Christmas event diplomatically said the princess's new look was an absolute surprise. As the pictures began to appear around the world, there was a lot more surprise at what was described as Charlene's new punk goth do. And it wasn't long before speculation was rife that perhaps she'd had a Britney Spears-style meltdown and decided to shed her locks, or at least some of them. There have been concerns about Charlene's emotional well-being for many years, dating back to her alleged attempt to flee Monaco before marrying Albert nearly 10 years ago, and her subsequent weeping throughout their wedding. Maybe the bizarre hairstyle was a cry for help, some wondered. Alternatively, it was suggested that her bold new look might be a way of showing that she finally felt liberated and had literally sheared off the restrictions that come with being part of the Monaco royal family. Charlene spent her years as a royal girlfriend isolated and lonely, unemployed, unable to speak the language, French, and a target of sniping, gossipy locals. Things really came crashing down in the months leading up to their big fat gauche wedding. It was also alleged that she had her passport taken by palace officials when she was en route to the airport, having purchased a one-way ticket back to South Africa. Charlene had her passport confiscated so that the prince's entourage could persuade her to stay, a Monegasque police source told. The palace quickly went about trying to douse the flames, denying everything, and the princess herself would later call the claims she had unsuccessfully tried to escape categorical lies. Still, the auguries were hardly great. But the wild story of Charlene was really only getting started. In 2021, speculation about their marriage went into overdrive after she ended up spending much of the year a continent away from her family, staying on a private game reserve in South Africa. On Albert and Charlene's 10th wedding anniversary, they were 12,000 kilometers apart. The reason given? Having traveled to the country for her conservation work, she had been grounded by health complications from years in the pool, which saw her undergo multiple surgeries, which saw her collapse in September, and which prevented her from flying. However, during this time, Charlene also posted highly unusual shots to her personal Instagram account, including her reading a Bible. When Albert, Jack, and Gabriella visited her in South Africa, one photo showed the youngest princess had unusually cut her own hair. British psychologist Dr. Becky Spellman said Charlene's dramatic hairstyle could indicate that she's not waiting for permission in her life anymore. It really shows that Princess Charlene doesn't mind what people think. Actually, she might want a little more attention. Hair is a great way of expressing ourselves. People have the opportunity to really go for it. This shows confidence, that you're not afraid to be different. She probably feels quite free that she's done something different to her hair, rather than conforming to what people think a royal might be like. Meanwhile, royal author Nigel Cawthorne says it could be Charlene's way of letting everyone know changes are afoot. When a royal changes their appearance as dramatically as Princess Charlene has, it's a very conscious decision and a sign that they want to tell the world something has changed dramatically in their life. 3 days later, another possible reason emerged for Charlene's radical hair makeover. Albert confirmed he was the biological father of Alexander Grimaldi Coste, now 18, whose mother was Nicole Coste, a former flight attendant from Togo. The following year, a DNA test confirmed he was also dad to Jasmine Grace, now 29, the daughter of Tamara Rotolo, a U.S. estate agent he met in the south of France. Neither child is in the line of succession to the Monaco throne as their parents never married. Earlier this month, Nicole Coste opened up about her son's relationship with Albert. Alexandre has been welcomed into the royal fold, appearing at Monaco's Rose Ball with the family and enjoying a lavish 18th birthday bash thrown by his dad. However, while insisting her son had a good relationship with his step-siblings, the mom of three also hinted at tensions with Charlene. As for Charlene, this is a subject that I cannot avoid because we are often put in parallel. Given our respective ties to the prince, we should have made sure to support each other cordially. For example, she changed my son's room, taking advantage of his father's absence to move him to the employee wing. As a mother, I cannot find words to describe these actions.